Reggie Aloysius Miller, the Hall of Famer, one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time. Reg on the call with Kevin Harlan for the Pelicans and the Blazers. That's Thursday night at 10:30 Eastern. Good morning, Reg. All right, greatest three-point shooter of all time is?
You're asking me my opinion?
Yes.
I've said this many of times. I'm still throwing Drazen Petrovic as the greatest three-point shooter that I've ever seen. But Steph is not slowly, very convincingly knocking down that wall of being the greatest three-point shooter. And after what I saw last night, I'm not going to go off one performance, but this is a pattern that Klay has put up. Just a couple of years ago when he had the most points in a half and went to zonkers with 9 dribbles, scoring 50-something points. Steph and Klay will go down as arguably two of the greatest shooters to ever play this game. And the maddening thing about it is that they're on the same team, and there's only one basketball. And you add Kevin Durant to the mix, and pretty soon Boogie Cousins, and they're still this successful. So for people saying, oh, they've won back-to-back, they're going to have a championship hangover, Steve Kerr and his staff and the team, I give them credit, they're finding ways to stay engaged. And when one of them gets hot, it's almost like a video game for them because they feed off of that and they want to see them succeed. Steph was just as excited getting his NBA three-point record broken than I think Klay was. And I think that's what's keeping this team engaged. And once Boogie Cousins comes back, and he's seeing this on the bench, I want to be a part of this. That's why no one's going to be able to touch this team barring major injury. They're playing against themselves right now.
Yeah. Should we move the three-point shot back, three-point line?
No. Well, the league would become a gimmick if they did that. I mean, in years past, the signature in basketball was what? The slam dunk.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to be like Mike. Your tongue was out. Your legs were spread. You were trying to jump from the free throw line like Dr. J. The dunk was, and at times can be, the most thrilling act in our game. But over the last 7 to 10 years, 15 years, it's been the three-point shot. And if you go to any local playground, if kids are still playing on the playground or YMCA or gym or whatever, kids aren't trying to have their tongue out and, jump like Michael Jordan because they can't. But everyone can think they can shoot like Steph Curry. And his pregame ritual and his dribbling and his shooting from 25, 35, 45 feet, everyone thinks they can do that when they walk into a gym. The three-point line has revolutionized what youth basketball is now. It's not the dunk. It's three-point. People want to be like Steph Curry, like Klay Thompson. It's no longer the high flyers. It's all about the shooters, and amen.
But what if I took out the three-point shot completely? How would would Golden State be so much better than everybody else without the three-point line?
Yes, they would, because it'd just be long twos. Right? It would just be long twos.
But they're not taking, I think, Paulie Wood, are they 18th in three-pointers attempted so far this season?
Yes. Third in efficiency, though. Third best percentage.
But doesn't that surprise you? They don't do volume. Houston does volume. The Golden State Warriors don't.
It doesn't surprise me because I think they're getting more efficient the older they get. Remember, analytics for Houston is huge.
Yeah.
They want to beat you from threes, free throws, and layups. Whereas Kevin Durant's game is still mid-range. It's an old-school game. And even though Klay and Steph are very efficient and high-volume three-point shooters, that's not really KD's game. Now, KD can knock him down for three, obviously, but it's that mid-range game and getting to the free throw line that sets up Durant's game. So those numbers don't surprise me. They're not like Houston where they're going to live and die by the three, which caught up to them in last year's playoffs versus Golden State. They can beat you with twos as well.
Talking to Reggie Miller. Reg on the call with Kevin Harlan. Pelicans and the Trailblazers Thursday night at 10:30 Eastern on TNT. The Lakers losing again last night. As we talked about last week, it just feels like this is going to be a roller coaster ride. Chris Mannix of Yahoo Sports says this is a team that can't figure out its identity. Should we be asking the Lakers to know their identity this many games into the season?
No. Again, and we've mentioned this, let's be more concerned come January 1st. If they're playing like this yo-yo type of we win a couple and then we lose 3 or 4, their identity is wrapped into LeBron James. And he's going to, each night, you could book this, 29, 8, and 8. That's going to be his stat line. But he can't do it all. So which one of these young guns are going to emerge? Kuzma has had nights. Ingram just came back from the suspension and played well last night. But someone else is going to have to step up for the ride. And again, they have 0 shooting. And if you go back and look at all of LeBron James' successful teams, he was surrounded by shooters at the corners, at the edges, big men who could stretch the floor, could open up the paint so he could drive. The Lakers don't have that. And they're going to struggle in a 3-point shooting league where if you pack the paint, you're going to dare people to shoot. They're daring Laker players to shoot, and they can't complete the job, Dan.
More likely to not be with Golden State next year, Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson?
Listening to Klay's comments post-game, I think everyone's saying, oh, Klay's gone. He wants his own team. It's time for him to spread his wings. I think he's content.
Well, he wouldn't have his own team.
I'm just not quite sure there's enough dollars to pay everyone. And if they end up winning again, that's 3 in a row for Kevin Durant. It pretty much cements – I could see him moving on. But at the end of the day, isn't it all about – this team could be like a Celtics dynasty if they find a way to stick together, but someone's going to have to take – a pay cut, and Klay already said he's not taking a hometown discount, and Kevin Durant shouldn't take a hometown discount. So I don't know. There's not enough money in the banks in San Francisco to pay all these guys. So I just don't see Klay wanting to leave because he's being spoon-fed right now.
Yeah, but he could go to the Lakers. Like, couldn't you see that situation where LeBron says, "Look, come in." And I got a bunch of passers here, and we're going to make sure that you're getting your shots.
I could see that, but to me, I'll say it again: winning trumps everything. And he started the year 5 for 36.
I know.
From threes.
I know.
And goes crazy for 14, and they're 7 or 8 and 1 with him struggling like that. Why go somewhere where the expectations would be much higher? Well, right now you're playing behind Steph, KD, possibly Boogie if he comes back healthy and is the Boogie that we know. Remember, he was the top center in the game before he went down. So the expectations would be higher if he went to the Lakers. Why not chill, have a latte? Oh, is it my turn tonight? Okay, Let me put up 14 threes. All right, let me just chill out until it's my turn.
It feels like Durant would be the one to leave because he will have cemented his legacy.
Yes.
And then he can have his own team or whatever he wants to do. And then because you know what? A lot of the reaction was last night, Reg, when Golden State was killing Chicago was, you know what? This is bad for basketball.
Yeah.
Like we're not looking at these great nights with Golden State. It's more of it's a negative because, you know what? Look at what they're doing.
Super teams.
Yeah.
Super teams.
Yep.
But that's the only way you're going to beat a super team is building another super team. And what players are going to commit to trying to build that team? I could see if Kevin Durant wants to leave, number one, I would leave the West Coast. And I could see Madison Square Garden with his name written all over it. He could be the marquee guy in New York, a new day. If Porzingis comes back healthy, if they can get possibly Kyrie, and they're going to need 2 guys to go to New York with KD. I could see that happening. A weaker conference, but once again, at the end of the day, I will always trump winning. And right now, those guys they're playing basketball versus themselves. Barring major injury, no one will be able to get a game, possibly 2, off the Warriors come playoff time if they're all healthy. Steph now is back to MVP Steph. Are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? This is crazy.
There are times, though, you watch and you forget that Klay is on the team or you forget that Draymond Green is on the team.
Yeah.
Usually we remember Draymond's on the team when it comes to the postseason. And then Klay has these nights, like every 5 or 6 nights where you go, oh, that's right. That guy. The fact that, like, catch and shoot, and which is amazing, Reg. He had the ball, I think, a little over a total of 90 seconds last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's just catch
Now,
and shoot.
Let's revise your question. When you ask the best three-point shooter of all time, how about the best catch and shoot three-point shooter? I would arguably put Klay over Steph as a best catch and shoot.
Klay over Ray Allen?
I might put Klay.
Whoa.
That's very good. That's very good. Very good. Ray is good. Catch and shoot. But remember, Ray was very good with the bounce too, with the ball and handling. So, different kind. Catch and shoot.
Is Klay a better catch and shoot three-point shooter than you?
I will plead the fifth.
Okay.
I'm going. You know what? I'm going to do the Tom Brady. Klay is arguably one of the greatest of all time, and I would say Klay. I'm going to do the Tom Brady. Okay. You can't nominate yourself, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing the Tom.
Man, I'd love to see you in today. It's like Reggie at 28 in today's NBA game.
Oh my God. I've had my time, and I loved it. Don't do this to me, because then you're going to get me all fired up, and then I'm going to write my mom who's in heaven and my dad who's in Riverside. I'm going to write them a really nasty note for getting it on too early. I wish they could have. Okay? All right? So don't get me going, all right? I curse you, Saul and Carrie.
Man, just imagine if you had like 15 minutes of work a night with the Warriors, Reg. God.
Ball movement, man movement.
Yes.
That's why. Did you see the excitement of Boogie Cousins?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he gets thrown out of the game in New York,
and
they in the first quarter, and then the excitement I see on his face on the bench, like I am a part of this team, of the winning culture. Yeah. That's all. When he comes back, he is going to run through brick walls for this team because he saw the unselfishness of when Steph went crazy versus Washington through three quarters, how they were all spoon-feeding him to get him going. And they saw last night when Klay got going, everyone setting screens. He wants to be a part of that. That's why it will work with him coming into this system.
I was talking to the Danettes about this when it comes to, when Luka Doncic came into the league, everybody talked about he didn't have a great first step. And I said, I'm not as worried about your first step. I want to know what your last step is like. And a lot of guys off the dribble, and I mentioned Maravich and Jerry West, were so good at that real hard last dribble where you're already going up. You know you're going to shoot, and it's such an advantage where that ball catches up with you. And to me, it's always underrated. I don't know if they scout this, but I look at Doncic and look at his last step more than his first step. It may not be fast, but the last step, it feels like he knows what he's doing, and he takes advantage of that.
Absolutely. And people, get caught up on speed and foot speed. To me, it's all about footwork, proper mechanics. And Doncic, for a guy that's 19 years old, so young, has proper footwork. So a lot of times that trumps people that are, those little speedy guys or, first couple dribbles, because if you have proper footwork, you'll always be able to get your shot off, create space, and have that angle, especially when you're driving against a defender.
Paulie has got a great three-point shooting question.
Okay, Steph Curry is currently averaging 52% from three on the season. Only four players in NBA history have averaged 52% from three. None of them were starters. They were all bench guys like Kerr, Legler, Sundvold, Jason Capono. Only one starter in NBA history, a guy who played like 70 starts, averaged 50% or more for the season from three. Can you name him? Hint, he's a foreign-born player.
I will say, would Dirk be one?
Nope.
That's a former teammate of yours, Reg. I believe.
Really? I will go with Chris Mullin?
Detlef Schrempf?
Detlef Schrempf.
51%.
He didn't take Like, he didn't shoot the volume that Steph, though.
No.
Correct?
No, but he was a starter.
Because he couldn't get the ball away from you.
That part is true. that part is true. Wow. Detlef, wow.
Detlef was a very good player.
And the original, when James Harden drives and he exposes the ball where guys are always slapping and is able to finish, Detlef was the first to create that move. Doesn't get enough credit for it.
Really?
The strongest forearms I may have ever seen. Was great in the post, would expose the ball. People would try to swipe and strip it. Contact, and one.
Detlef Schrempf. Have fun you're in Portland, right?
We are in Portland. Good game. I hope.
Do they love you in Portland?
Plays.
How do they treat you in Portland?
Portland is great. Voodoo Donuts. Yes. If you've never heard of them.
No.
Voodoo Donuts. Yum, yum. Yes, I love Portland.
Thank you, Reg. Safe travels.
You are the best, Theodore. Danettes. You guys are on it on the three-point shooting and all that today. Great job, guys.
Thank you, Reg. There you go. Reg with a compliment for the Danettes there.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.